How you guys doing? This 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is breaking down the books. Now, if you guys didn't hear yet, Taylor Hall just got traded from the New Jersey Devils to the Arizona Coyotes. That just happened. That just happened. That's crazy. That's big news. Coyotes just got that much better. They were already good, and now they just got that much better. They got a certified goal scorer on their team, and I'm hyped to see how that happens. Like I'm hyped to see how that's gonna work out. But anyways, that's enough talking about all that other stuff. Had a terrible Sunday. Just can't seem to break that football's trend. Like you know what I mean? When it comes to football, I give out good picks, I get good picks, and then when I try to make a parlay, I always have that one pick that ends up busting my card on my parlays. Like it doesn't mean I'm not that like obviously the percentage on the return is not that good because of those parlays, but at least I got my singles, and that's why I always say you bet on singles. You know what I mean? Always bet on the singles. That way, you not only secure yourself a win, but you're kind of hedging your bet in a way that, let's say you have a three-play parlay, and then you have all three plays singled, and one of the plays end up failing, then at least you get some money back from the two that you failed at. And then let's say all three happen, then you get all three singles, and you get a parlay. It's added funds. So anyways, another story for another time. So getting back into this, got a short slate of NHL, short slate of NBA, and of course, it's Monday Night Football. Let's get right down into it. Nashville Predators versus the Rangers. Big game today. Rangers at home. They're underdog 210 on your buck. For the Predators been looking pretty decent. I can't complain about how they've been playing, and I gave them a lot of heat this year for not playing up to standard, and recently they've been performing. So got to give the devil its due. Anyways, we got Anders Nielsen. Sorry, we got Saros, who's going to be at net versus Georgiev. Georgiev is confirmed. Both goalies confirmed. Saros, obviously, the goalie getting the least amount of wins for Nashville, and the Rangers. Well, Georgiev been really really good for them. Uh, in this game, honestly, I like the Rangers. Not going to be a popular pick, but I actually like the Rangers in this game. Now, Nashville, they're 5-11 at the spread in their last 16, 5-11 straight up in their last 16. Total's gone under in 5 of the last 7, and over in the last 8 games when they play on the road. And this is the advantage we have here. Now, on the other side, you got the Rangers who are 4-1 straight up in the last few games when they play at home versus Nashville. So Nashville's already not that good on the road, and the Rangers are actually they have a record of beating Nashville when they come to their home. Total's also gone under in their last 5 games, New York, and they're 7-1 at the spread in their last 8 games. So I like the home dog today. I'm gonna go with the New York Rangers to start the show. Next, we got the Ottawa Senators versus the Florida Panthers. Florida, they play good sometimes, and then another game comes in, and then they kind of shit the bed. Um, Senators, well, obviously they're not that good of a team, but they could upset anybody on any given night. That's the kind of team that they are. They got Anders Nielsen, who's gonna be at net. He's gonna go up against Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's been he's been good still. He's been really good, and I like a under in this game. Believe it or not, I don't think Anders Nielsen allows too many goals in this one. I like a under 6.5. That's the only play I got in this game. Next, we got the Washington Capitals versus the Blue Jackets. Last time these two teams seen each other, I gave you guys the Blue Jackets. I actually had a strong lean Blue Jackets. I bet on them, and sure enough, they were the victors in that game. Today, I got Washington to cover the minus 1.5, a revenge spot to get that loss back that they got the last week. And I did say, I said, listen, would you say I'm crazy if I told you that the Columbus Blue Jackets win tonight? And a lot of you guys said I was crazy, but turns out, you know, you know what they say about crazy. Anyways, so minus 1.5 for that Washington Capitals game. Next, we got the Colorado Avalanche versus the St. Louis Blues. Kind of a revenge spot here, also for the Avalanche. I don't know. I don't really like a play in this game, but let's get into some numbers just to see if we could find an advantage or some kind of edge here. Obviously, St. Louis are the champs. They're going to be the home favorite, paying 83 cents on your buck. 5.5 is the total. So St. Louis been keeping games low though. St. Louis 1-4 at the last in the last 5. They're 6-3 in their last 9 games overall, straight up, like straight up wins. They're actually 8-1 when they play at home versus Colorado. Colorado on their end 8-1 in their last 9, so they're the hotter team. Unders gone under in the last 5 or 6. Um, man, they're also 0-5 when playing St. Louis in their last 5 games. So while, oh my goodness, yeah, St. Louis should win this game, but it's a new day. Like if you're following trends, then St. Louis should win the game. But right now, what the actual facts and the actual trend is, Colorado is the hotter team. They have like they got a lot of firepower, and I don't know. Honestly, I would hate to go with the road dog here. So I'm gonna. I would love to stay away. I'm gonna give you the over in that game. It looks like It looks. It might look like an under game on paper. Colorado's been going under, but St. Louis has been going over, and the hotter team should be the one to be the victor. Now, who's gonna score more goals? Obviously is going to win the game. But who's going to score more goals is going to determine if this game goes over or not. If Colorado scores more goals and St. Louis actually ends up winning, like then if you understand what I mean, like if Colorado ends up scoring more goals than anticipated and St. Louis ends up winning, then obviously this game goes over. But it might go over by a hair. So, anyways, that's the only pick I'm gonna give in that game. So I'm gonna give the over. But it's you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna give the over. I was gonna say it's a strong lean, but forget it. I'm gonna give the over. Next, we got the Edmonton Oilers versus the Dallas Stars. Edmonton heavy dogs here. Dallas 150 on your buck. They're still without a coach. Looking like they're gonna roll with the interim coach for the foreseeable future. So we'll see how that works. Um, Edmonton they could score goals. I don't have a play in this game. I'm gonna skip over it. I'm gonna skip over this game. So now we're gonna go right into the NFL. In the NFL, we got Monday Night Football, Indianapolis Colts versus the New Orleans Saints. Saints 9.0 favorites, 47.5 is the total. I like the over in this game. Saints produce a lot of offense, and on Monday nights, I could expect good things from Mr. Drew Brees. I'd love to put them to cover that 9.0. Uh, I don't really have a reason not to. I could say that the Colts don't. I could say that the Saints don't really cover spreads, but that wouldn't necessarily be the truth. They're kind of half and half. Let's see if we could. New Orleans 8-3 at the spread in their last 11 games, so they're more than half and half. But that's just in their last 11, so they're just about half and half on the season. They're 4-1 in their last five, 4-1 at the spread in their last five against them. So not only did they win in their last 4 or 5, but they've actually covered. Indianapolis on their end, they're 2-7 at the spread when playing against these guys. 2-4 at the spread in their last 7, and only won one in their last 5 games or 6 games. Give me the Saints and the over, and just live with the results. I lose, I lose. You know it happens. Now we're gonna get right into the NBA. In the NBA, see what we got going here. We got the Washington Wizards versus the Detroit Pistons. Detroit 5.0 favorites, 230 is the total. I don't like a play in this game. I'd love to put the over, but I don't think it goes over. And in Washington games, I can't ever put the under. It's just not the mathematically or financially savvy thing to do. You stay away from Washington. If you can't put the over, don't put a Washington game under. And I can't trust Detroit to score enough threes to keep up with Washington. I actually think Washington might pull out the victory here. I might sound crazy. You know what? Let's see. Let's see. Because honestly, if none of those guys who've been injured for the last while come back for Washington, I like Washington in this spot. I like them to continue working hard and striving for greatness despite being without some of their guys. Because they've been severely undermanned. It's terrible what's happening to these guys. So just checking the injury report here real quick, and let's see if there's any. CJ Miles out. Isaiah Thomas is going to be a game time decision. Thomas Bryant is going to be a game time decision. Isaiah Thomas went through shoot around, so he might end up playing. Detroit though, like I don't know. With everybody possibly coming back, I don't like Washington still, so I'm gonna skip out on this game. But I have a strong lean on Washington money line, just not paying enough money for me. Next, we got Toronto versus Cleveland. Cleveland 12.5 underdogs, 217 is the total. Toronto that's kind of a big spread. I don't have a play in that game. I'd love to put the under. I'll probably just pick the under 217, but I don't really have a play outside of that. Next, we got Chicago versus OKC. OKC 5.5 favorite versus Chicago 210 is the total. I like both OKC to cover and the under in this game. OKC been struggling to cover spreads and struggling to win games. They've been battling to start, but then they end up losing or getting blown out towards the end. They're actually on a back-to-back also. Uh, Actually, no, OKC is not on a back-to-back, but they just played. I think I want to say Saturday night. That's why it seems like a back-to-back. Man, these days are going by quick. 2019 is just about flying on us. So yeah, so OKC, be wary. Yes, they should cover, but also Chicago's high off of just beating the Clippers with nobody. If you guys are following, I actually gave out the Clippers on Saturday night, but not the Clippers, sorry, the Chicago Bulls. I didn't think they were gonna win without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard and all those guys. Ended up having a pretty decent day on Saturday, but ended up balancing out with Sunday, which wasn't that hot of a day. But another story for another time. Now, so yeah, that's pretty much it. 5.5 OKC and under 210 in that game. So be wary. OKC might struggle against a team that could shoot threes, but they do a very good job guarding the perimeter. Next, we got Dallas versus Milwaukee. Dallas heavy underdogs, 10.5 underdogs versus the Bucks. 227 is the total. This game should probably still go over. They're two over teams. I like the over in this game. 10.5 seems like a lot of points, but I'm telling you right now, the Bucks are going to cover that spread. There's nothing that I'm sure on this board about than the Bucks covering that spread tonight. Yes, there's no Luka Doncic. He's injured. He injured his ankle over the weekend in a game versus the Heat, where I also gave out the Heat to cover. Uh, but again, I didn't do a show that day. It was just if you guys are following. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I like the Bucks to cover every single spread until they prove to me that they can't. They should probably battle. Dallas should probably battle, but I think the Bucks defense is just gonna be too strong. Next, we got the Heat versus the Grizzlies. Heat's 3.5 favorites. 217 is the total. 217 seems like it's a low number to me. Let's check to see if anybody's injured, because that might be the case. Joe Johnson is still out. Goran Dragic still out. Dion Waiters suspended. We know that. And Justice Winslow is also out. So there's no significant injuries. I think these guys are banking on Ja Morant and the fact that the Heat are better at home than they are on the road. Jay Crowder supposed to be playing today. I like the Heat to cover. Sounds like easy money to me. But remember, it's a bunch of kids versus a bunch of kids, so be wary of that also. But I like Jimmy Butler's chances of beating the Grizzlies. If you had to give me the money on that. Next, we got the San Antonio Spurs versus the Houston Rockets. Rockets 9.5 favorite versus the Spurs. Under 233 is the total. This is a chance for the Rockets to rewrite a wrong. See what I did there? Rockets to rewrite a wrong. So yeah. Anyways, 9.5 favorites, 233. Spurs, they've been losing games. They had a big comeback, big win victory the other day versus Phoenix. Man, that was a pretty nice in play that we had there. That was actually yesterday. Yesterday? Shit. I'm all confused as far as my days are going. All I know is what's going on today. So now the Spurs just came off of a big win. Houston came off of a pretty good win themselves. Then they ended up losing to Detroit. So they have a bounce back game. Russell Westbrook ended up getting rest. I think he got rest so he could get an extended rest period. Just have that extra day off. So then when they come in today, they'll be able to play like for real. If you guys remember correctly, the last time these guys played each other, James Harden had that dunk that went under the basket. And when it went under the basket, the referees did not count that. And these guys tried to contest the win. They ended up going on to lose that game in overtime after leading by 12 to 13 points. Okay? They had more than enough time to win and not only win but cover the spread, but not only did they not cover, they lost to the Spurs, who were really not that good during that time. I can't complain because that day I had the Spurs to cover the spread. I didn't have them to win, but I had the Spurs to cover that spread. Now, Houston gets a chance to rewrite that wrong. Do I put the under? No. Do I put the cover? No. I'm going to wait for the San Antonio Spurs to come in guns blazing, beat the brakes off of Houston, and then Houston to have an epic comeback of supreme proportions. And I'll be able to cash out and share with you guys on Twitter how well I did. So no play in this game until it starts. I might even play around and put the Spurs money line to show that it wasn't a fluke. Let's just see before I give you guys actual numbers. Um, if I'm justified in thinking this, because if there's no additional injuries, I really like this spot. So Austin Rivers, game time decision. He's probably gonna play. Eric Gordon's still out. Nene's still out, and obviously Green is gonna be out for a while. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I like the Spurs money line here just to start. Next we got Portland versus Phoenix. Portland 1.0 favorite versus Phoenix 288. I don't have a play in that game. I don't like Portland, and Phoenix got to prove to me that they could do what they got to do. Coming off of a big loss to the Spurs, they got to prove to me that they could actually do this. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for me. I'm gonna give you guys the Bookie Bullies rundown, but before I do that, I'd love you guys to go ahead and smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell in the corner so you're posted anytime I post videos like these. So, starting from the top, giving you the New York Rangers money line, the under 6.5 in the Ottawa versus Florida game. Washington Capitals minus 1.5. Over 5.5 in the Avalanche versus Blues game. The over 47.5 and the Saints minus 9.0. Giving you the under 217 in the Cavs versus Raptors. OKC minus 5.5. Under 210 in the Bulls versus OKC. Giving you the over 227 in the Dallas Bucks game. Bucks to cover 10.5 for the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are going to lose this whole road trip. Side note. Anyways, Miami Heat minus 3.5 and the San Antonio Spurs money line. All those plays will be posted on my Twitter after the first ones, uh, after the first games, the 7 o'clock games actually went through. I'll be posting them on my Twitter so you guys are posted for these picks. And that's pretty much it for me. So please, like I tell you all the time, don't bet what you can't afford to lose. Best of luck to all. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you're not gonna get rich overnight. Just be safe with your bread. Be safe. Be good. And I'll see you again next time.